Hello, my wrist-free warriors. In this flow, we combine both yoga and Chinese practices like qigong and Tai Chi to focus on opening and releasing the hips. We're going to work towards splits. You don't have to do the splits, but some of the actions can feel really good and help release tension. If that sounds good, let's get going. So let's begin standing at the front of the mat. You can stand with your feet together or the feet hip distance apart. Just as you stand, really feel your toes spreading on the ground. Lift your chest slightly. Let's take 3 deep breaths here to begin our practice. You could join the palms if that feels meaningful to you. Breathing in. Calm breath out through the nose. Inhaling to center yourself. Exhaling to release any stress or tension. Inhaling to find a little lightness and playfulness. Exhaling, release your hands. Inhale, the arms reach up, palms join gently. Exhale, folding, bend your knees. Lift up, float the hands. Step the left foot back, back knee down. Inhale, arms rising. Let's flow a little bit. Dragon wings, arms back, lean forwards. Breathing in. Exhale, lean forwards. One more time. Arms lift, back toes tuck, back knee lifts. High lunge. From here, open your arms to the right like wings. And then slowly back to center, and then back heel down for Warrior Two. If you're new to Warrior Two, check your front knee is bent, it's above your front ankle. Check your back toes are turned in slightly, and that back leg is straight. As you breathe in, lift the front palm to the sky like an offering to the sun, and then reach both arms forwards like you're reaching for the sun. Reverse warrior, reach for the sun. One more time. Reach for the sun. This time come back into your Warrior Two. Come back into your high lunge, square the hips forwards. Step forwards, bring your knee gently into your chest. You could hold it if that feels okay in your wrists, or just floating the hands. 3 breaths in the balance. Wobble, wobble. Yep. And then foot comes down. Inhale, arms rise, second side, folding. Lift the chest, float the hands. Right foot steps back, slowly lower your knee. Heart lifts, arms lift, and then dragon wings, folding. 2 more. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Let's take a moment in your high lunge. Front knee is bent, back leg is straightening out. Open your arms to the left. Really use your core, use your abs, and then high lunge, Warrior Two, back heel down. Again, check in with your feet. Toes are spread. Front knee above front ankle. And turn the left palm up, reversing. Reaching for the sun. Reversing and reaching for the sun. One more time. Fluid, warming up bit by bit. Warrior Two. From your Warrior Two, turn the back heel, square the hips forwards. Step forwards, knee comes up and in. Wobble, wobble. 3 breaths. And release. Let's add on to that same sequence now, adding on bits and pieces. Rising, palms join. Exhale, folding gently. Lift the chest. Left foot comes back again, back knee down. Arms rising. This time let's circle the arms back for 3, for 2, and 1. Dragon wings just once. Arms come up, tuck your back toes, high lunge. This time in your high lunge, step forwards, knee to the chest, and slowly step back, back knee down, lunge, and step forwards, knee to chest. Control it, go slow, back knee down, last time. This time as you stand, open the arms to the right. Let's hold here this time. Cross your right arm behind your lower back gently. And take your left hand to rest at the heart as you turn. So left palm on the chest, turning, kind of wrapping into the twist. If you like little micro details, think about lifting the pubic bone up and gently drawing the abdominals in. So it's a really strong twist. Let's release warrior two, back heel down. Reversing, reach for the sun. This time as you reverse, pause, straighten your front leg, lift your front toes, and now bend your back knee and touch the knee, ta-da, and then reach for the sun. Touch the back knee, lift the front toes. One more time. This time as you touch the back knee, pause here, offer the hands forwards to the horizon. If it feels good, you could drop the hips a little bit lower, go easy with the knees, and then from here, warrior two. High lunge, back heel lifts. Step forwards, knee comes up and in. This time, gently rest your hands at your hips. We're going to straighten that front leg, point the foot, holding for 3. I know it's tough. 2, lift, lift, lift. 1, foot comes down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Second side, rising. Folding, lengthening the legs a bit more this time. Shoulders back as you lift. Right foot steps back, knee down. From here, circling the arms. Just moving in a way that feels good to you, that helps you get out the kinks and the creases. And then let's take a dragon wings. Fingers active, chest forwards. And then lifting up, high lunge. Get ready for it, step forwards, knee comes in. Navigate back, lower the knee down. That's 3. And 2. And 1. This time lift up, open the arms, twist. Again, that left arm can come behind. Right hand rests at the heart, giving you a chance to really focus on turning around the spine. Again, a little lift through the pubic bone, a little lift through the abdominals, really helpful. 1 more breath. And then warrior 2. Reversing. Reaching for the sun. Reversing, straighten your front leg, lift the toes, bend the back knee, touch the knee. Reach for the sun. 2 more. Sweeping semicircles. This time pause, offer the hands forwards, maybe lower down a little bit more if it feels good. Hold it. Stick your bum out. And then warrior 2. High lunge. Take your time. Find your balance. Step forwards, knee comes in. You can take your hands to your hips here. Here we go, nice and spicy. Straighten the leg for 3. Point the foot. 2, stand tall. 1, mountain pose. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift the arms. Bowing to the earth. Lifting the heart to the horizon. Left foot steps back, back knee down. Circle the arms once. Dragon wings once. Now this time from here, rest your hands on that front thigh gently. Option 1, you can breathe here. Tuck the tailbone under. You could give your glutes a poke. The glutes on the left side should be active. Squeeze them, squeeze your butt. And you can send the hips forwards a tiny bit. Searching for a stretch in the front of the left hip and the thigh. Now if you get a strong stretch, stay here. Option 2, if you want a little bit extra, you could bend your back knee and reach to catch the foot gently and bring the foot in, heel to the glutes. Only if this feels okay in your wrist and your shoulder. Sometimes this is called King Arthur's pose, like a knight in shining armor, kind of bowing, but keeping the heart lifted, courageous heart. Juicy quad stretch, 2 more breaths. From here, release the back foot, high lunge, lifting up. Step forwards. Lunge, step back just once. And now lifting into your high lunge. This time, this is going to be tricky. Take your hands, rest them at your hips, straighten your front leg. Now your back heel is off the floor here. Pelvis is square. And then reach the arms forwards. We're going to fold over a straight front leg. You can micro bend the knee if that feels better. You could rest the hands on the shin. It's really wobbly. Or you could take your hands back to your hips. Back heel is off the floor. It's a little tricky. Draw your right hip back, 3, 2, 1. Warrior 2, back heel turns down now. What a relief. Let's reverse. Reach for the sun. Reverse, touch the knee. Warrior 2, listen closely. Look at your left foot for a sec. And can you turn your left heel in? So the toes are turned out, left heel is turned in now. Bend both of your knees. So with the knees bent, take a look. I want to make sure that my knee is pointing in the same direction as my toes. So front knee going towards the front toes, back knee going towards the back toes. And I'm in a kind of weird squat, asymmetric. From here, turn your chest to the front of your mat. And now follow me closely. With your hands, could you gently make claws, tiger claws, tiger claws. Right hand floats at the height of the nose, elbow bent. So right hand here, tiger claw. The left arm is just below and in front of your chest, tiger claws. From here, bend the knees, sit into the hips. Tiger stance, one expression of tiger stance. From here, start to send the weight towards the back hip and then rise up and take your claws forwards and down and back. Making a circle with the claws, using your legs. Let's take 3 more. This is a variation of a movement called Taming the Tiger. Growling noise is optional. And from here, open out. Turn your back toes in, warrior 2. Triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. Reach forwards. And the hand delicately rests on the shin. In triangle, you could look down if that feels better. You could look forwards. Some people even like to look up at the hand. I'd say only doing that if it doesn't strain your neck. 2 more breaths. Press into your back foot. From here, warrior 2. Famous half moon, hands free, arms wide. The hand is off the floor, left leg lifts. Those of you who are regular, getting pretty good at this by now, I am sure. If you're new, it's tricky. The hand doesn't touch the ground. 3, 2, 1. Mountain pose at the front of your mat. In your mountain pose, shift the weight into the right foot again. Left ankle over the right knee, figure 4, arms like wings. I've got my palms turned up today. Hips back, calm breath. Just breathing gently with it. And then let's step out. Mountain pose at the front of your mat. Second side, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, folding. Lifting up. Right foot steps back, back knee down. Crescent lunge, just one circle with the arms rising. Dragon wings, keeping it flowy. And this time, as the arms come forwards, rest the hands on that front knee. Tuck the tailbone under, hips forwards a little. And if you want a bit more, you could maybe catch that right foot, bring the heel in. That's often too much for a lot of people. So if that is the case for you, you could let go and just breathe here. Keeping the spine upright, regal, like a royal person. Smooth, slow breaths. One more. From here, release, tuck your back toes, high lunge. Step forwards, knee into the chest, same sequence. And step back slowly into the lunge. And then a high lunge. From here, wobble, straighten your front leg, back heel stays off the floor, reach the arms forwards. Now you can micro bend that front knee, lean forwards, and then maybe the hands on the shin, maybe the hands on the hips. The front leg is pretty much straight, but maybe a little bend just so you don't collapse or dump into the knee. Left hip back, 3, 2, 1. Warrior 2, opening out. Let's reverse together. Reach for the sun and touch the back knee. From here, warrior 2, hands to your hips for a sec. Look at your right foot. Turn the heel in and the toes out now. Bend both knees. Tailbone down, so drop the tailbone, lower back not in too much of a back bend. And then let's take that left hand into the claw, about the height of the nose. The right hand is a bit below, just in front of the chest. And then sit back into the right hip. And then lift up and come forwards, taming the tiger. Like you draw a circle in the air. And you could look ferociously with the eyes. Arr. Let's go 3, 2, 1. Turn your back toes in, heel out now. Triangle, front leg long. Expand, breathe. In your triangle, really think about pressing both sides of your feet down, really anchored in the legs. Just 2 more breaths. And then from here, coming back into your warrior 2. From here, high lunge. And a big step forwards. And a big step back. Nearly forgot. We have a half moon, right? Half moon. Reach forwards. You almost got lucky then. Right leg comes up. And really think about expanding through your back, really wide with the arms and the legs. 3, 2, 1. Mountain pose, front of your mat. Give your left foot a little shake for a sec. Then coming back onto that left foot, keeping it strong. Figure 4 squat. Right ankle over left knee. Breathing here. The hips go back, the chest goes forwards and down. 3, 2, 1. Mountain pose. So stand at the front of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart and check the inside edges of your feet are parallel. We're going to take a nice long forward fold here. To enter the fold, I'm going to invite you to bend your knees and stick your butt out. Then bring your elbows onto your thighs for a moment. And now from here, keep thinking about sending your hips back. And imagine you're trying to take your ribcage forwards until you place your belly on your thighs. That's a good starting position because you've got a really good hip hinge now with your belly on your thighs. And now you might release the fingertips down to the floor, drop the head. And your legs won't be straight yet, that's fine. But as you start to release the head down, maybe you begin to straighten the legs but see if you can keep your belly touching your thighs for as long as possible. That'll keep your back long and you'll get a deeper stretch. Once you find a good degree of stretch, maybe like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, breathing there. And again, you can totally have your knees bent. If you feel a stretch in the back of the leg, fantastic. That's all we're going for. Okay, from here, lift the chest. Let's step that left foot back, back knee down. So one more time, King Arthur's pose. Again, you could tuck under, maybe catch the back foot. If that feels okay, you might even take both hands to the foot and really bring the heel in this time, if it feels okay in your wrists. And then now from here, release that back foot. And still kneeling on the back knee, I'm going to wiggle my right foot forwards a little bit, so my leg's a bit straighter, and I'm going to try and keep my hips square to the front of the mat. Now splits are tricky without using your hands, so you could work here, cultivating the balance in the muscles in the inner thighs, which will really help your splits long term. Or, if it feels okay to do so, you could bring your fingertips down or your knuckles down, and you could gently come towards a split, but I'm trying to keep my hands as light as possible. My back toes are tucked because that gives me more control, and I can take my back knee a little bit further away. It's coming into a low position. Again, light on the hands, and you could even lift the hands and balance. Now my front knee, I'm squeezing my quads so I don't collapse that front knee. Wobble, wobble, wobble. But this is actually an excellent way to train your splits because you build a strength. So you need strength for splits. It's the strength that gets you the flexibility. I feel like a tightrope walker, right? Okay, and then let's release. Find your way out. Let's come to a kneeling position for a moment. Let's take an inhale. Oh, and an exhale. Let's try the other side. Left foot steps forwards, back knee down. And again, optionally catching the back foot, maybe bringing it in with both or one hand. What happens in these kind of stretches in the front of your hip, sometimes your lower back tries to compensate and you'll go into a back bend, but then you lose the hip flexor stretch. So think about tucking your tailbone under and staying away from the back bend. So my back is long now. And I feel it more. Do you? Hopefully. More in my front hip. Okay, release the back foot, tuck the toes. And then let's mindfully straighten the front leg a little bit. You could work here, left hip back. If that feels okay, maybe I could come down and carefully lengthen my stance. And again, I could use my hands very lightly, or still with a little micro bend in that front knee, I might practice balancing. I just don't want to collapse into that front knee. I want to keep it active. Again, circus arms. Calm breath. Two more. And then let's release. So, as we start to cool things down, coming to sit. As you sit, bring the soles of your feet together. And you can bring the heels in closer, but prioritize sitting tall. If you're then really far back, there's not much point. Keep your feet further away if that's the case. Hold the shins, the ankles of the feet. Inhale, lift your chest. And then think about taking your chest forwards. Reaching the heart forwards, 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 forwards. More than down, go forwards first, and then maybe go down. Cobbler's pose. See if the shoulders could relax back and down. And I'm not trying to force my knees down. I'm more interested in taking my chest forwards and keeping my torso long, because that will get me a better hip stretch. From here, release. So go and take a posture called zigzag. So listen closely as I show you how to do it. So I'm going to bring my right shin, my right lower leg, parallel to the front edge of my mat now. Just carefully getting there. So it's a little bit like a pigeon leg, but I'm sat on the outside of my right hip, so it's fairly comfortable. Shin parallel to the front edge. Now my back leg, I want to take this out at a 90-degree angle as well. So the shin of my back leg is parallel or on the long edge of my mat. So take a look, and I'm basically making a 90-degree angle in that front leg and a 90-degree angle in that back leg. Flex your feet, so the feet, toes curl in. From here, turn your chest towards that front shin, and now gently walk your fingertips, or maybe your elbows forwards, towards kind of like a pigeon pose. You could come down onto the forearms if that's comfortable, but taking the chest forwards and over the shin. Maybe you're up here, gently resting the fingertips. Just taking 3 or 4 more breaths. And then from here, slowly coming up, and this is tricky, so your front foot, the right one, you now bring it to touch your left thigh. So it's touching the left thigh. And then what I'm going to do, again, mindfully, just tuck my fingertips back and turn my chest. So I'm not putting any weight in my hands. But as I turn my chest, I might notice a hip stretch in this left hip. If you can bring the hands back and it doesn't bother the wrists, you could lean back into the fingertips and almost try and sit your left hip down. You won't be able to, but maybe dropping the hip down. So I'm now stretching my left hip, but in a different way. And it can feel a bit funny, this one, right? It's weird. Slowly come back. Let's take the legs out for a sec. Give them a little wiggle. And we'll go to the second side. So I'm going to bring my left shin parallel to the short edge of my mat in like a zigzag shape. So again, pretty much the backs of the knees are at a 90-degree angle, feet are flexed. And then lift and turn towards the left leg. And let's fold forwards a little bit. You could rest on the forearms, or even coming all the way down if that feels good. Just find what feels good in your body right now. Different angles will feel better for different people. Slow, calm breaths, helping your hips relax. Your next breath or two, let's start to come back up. And then snuggle that left foot towards the right thigh. And then turn your chest to face the back knee. So you turn, maybe you rest your hands behind you gently. Maybe you try and sit that right hip down towards the floor. And I'm keeping my knee on the floor, so my knee's not lifting up. Check that out. Just another 2 or 3 breaths here. Building healthy, mobile hips. Okay, and then let's come to lie down now. So lying down on your back for our final cool down. Draw your right knee in towards your body gently, left leg long. And you could even hold gently behind the right thigh, again if it feels okay in the wrists. Maybe even straighten that right leg just into a final split position. And now let's take that leg across the body into a twist. The knee could be bent, or you could even keep the leg straight if that feels good to you. And just seeing if the muscles of your face and your jaw could now soften and relax or release. And then coming back to center, left leg comes in, snuggle. And you could gently hold here, or you could link behind the thigh, straighten the leg for a final stretch. And then bringing the leg across your body into the twist. You might imagine or feel like any last residue of tension or stress is now leaving your body. It's emptying into the earth. And come back into center. Let's just take a short shavasana, just a minute or so in this practice. Just to come back to center. Let's take a big breath in through the nose together, out through the mouth. Just giving yourself these few moments, taking time for yourself to prioritize your rest, your self-care, your well-being. And perhaps maybe offering acknowledgement or gratitude to yourself for making it to practice today, for making the time for this practice and for yourself. Okay, let's start to deepen our breath. Just wiggling toes and fingers and stretching out. You could walk your feet in and just find your own gentle way to come up. And just closing in a seated position. You could join the palms if that's meaningful to you, if it feels good, or resting hands on the knees. Just bowing, acknowledging your practice once again. We'll close here. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to be with you. I really hope you find these practices helpful. As always, leave me comments below. I love your feedback, and I'll see you again very soon. Also, if you have time, please click on the subscribe button. It really helps me out and helps me continue doing what I'm doing here for you all. I'll see you soon.